Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Monday, the 4th of January, the very first edition for 2021, comes to you from London. And I want to wish all our clients a happy new year. And we start by just looking at the markets. Quite a lot of green on the screen. Of course, there's been a lot of news flow over the break, and we are just seeing markets relatively strong, especially in equities. We're seeing the dollar sinking lower, so its fall continues. Dollar index now sitting below 90. So we are still very much in bearish territory here, breaking long-term trends. So it still looks like a pretty bad year for the dollar. That means that the euro against the dollar is trending higher. We're sitting at 122.80, and so we're looking strong there. We talked a lot last year about this move into the pattern, sideways move out. That's still undergoing. It shows up a bit more clearly on the weekly chart. Remembering this is my weekly long-term, my daily medium-term, and my 60-minute short-term view of the market. So, and the corresponding point and figure chart. So I have a multi-faceted view of what's going on. So here we see the move into the pattern on the weekly chart, the sideways consolidation, the move out, and based on that pattern, we've got further to run. So don't be surprised to see further euro strength. Dollar against the yen, we're seeing, is now at 102, and so that is showing up that real dollar weakness there. The trend very clear. Sterling sitting at 137 this morning, just nudging that 137 mark. So sterling starting to make multi-year highs against the dollar, of course. Brexit fear is now gone really for sterling, and we're seeing targets long term to 150. So all the signs are that sterling will have a re-rating this year against sterling. Against the euro, against the dollar, against the euro, we're sitting at 111.45. So we've seen also a re-rating since Christmas here. Brexit fears again gone. Basically a sideways move against the currency, but we are just seeing short-term appreciation with good upside targets. So that's quite key there. We're still in a long-term downtrend for sterling, with targets in either direction, neither of which are activated. So it'll be interesting to watch that play out. Taking a look now at Bitcoin, the massive move over the break. We're seeing here these weekly candles where we've just rocketed from 3,000 in March to 34,000 as the high. Really quite something. The chart to watch if you are trading Bitcoin is the 60-minute chart for the trend. We are still holding the trend, looking a little bit like a head and shoulders pattern just building there. So we need to be just aware of that. Just watch for that move. That high to the shoulder might be the downside move that we see. Of course, if you're trading Bitcoin, take a look at the 1-minute chart. Just hit the T key on your system, and you'll get the trends and targets. So there we are, downside potential at 29,650. That's not yet activated. Go to smaller box sizes if you want, or larger ones. Here we see that downside target met. We've got a new upside target. This chart is the chart to watch, the 1-minute chart if you're trading Bitcoin. Taking a look at stocks now, well, the S&P 500 index at its last session on New Year's Eve was up, and we're seeing that just pushing higher. The Nasdaq also making new highs there, so that's pushing higher as well. The Dow was up 0.2%. The futures today, the S&P E-mini future is up 0.33%, and the Nasdaq E-mini is up just over 0.33%. Suggests that markets will open higher. The VIX volatility sitting at 23. So that's quite significant. News breaking in the US on Trump, so that will be interesting to see how the market takes that in its stride. FTSE future up 1.7%, so a really big move there in the UK. The cash market in Germany up 0.45%, and the CAC Courant up nearly 1%. So we're seeing quite a strong showing in European equities. The Japanese market was down 0.5%. That's probably related to the stronger yen, which is hitting exports from Japan, so that's hitting the major stocks there. The Hang Seng was up just under 1%, and China was up just under 1% as well. So we're starting to see pattern breakouts here, move into the pattern sideways, move out. That's another example of that. We saw that in the Hang Seng as well. The Sensex up 0.5%, pushing higher. So looking good there, and lots of New Year cheer in Oz, up 1.5%. Still not making new highs, of course. Commodities have generally lagged. Taking a look at gold, we see gold is up 1.7%, just starting to come back into medium-term bullish territory. So the recovery in gold, and we're seeing the short-term chart looking very bullish. Good upside targets here. Don't be surprised to see gold make new highs. If we do, we activate an upside target some 60% higher to $3,000. Silver also looking strong, up 3%, and copper up 1.9%. So we are just seeing quite a move there. And US 10-year yield up 1%. So we're seeing that there as well. Taking a look at the commodities mix now, Brent crude breaking higher this morning. That's looking bullish. We're sitting at $53 here. WTI is up 2%, not quite breaking the $50 mark yet, but looking pretty strong. US nat gas sitting at $2.61, up 3%. So the whole energy mix is getting off to a strong start for the year. Coal, we don't have a paint yet this morning, but we're still looking very strong on that trend there. Of course, the big story last month was Chinese embargoes on Australian coal. Looking at emissions, we're up 4% this morning. Emissions set to run much higher. We've got a 40% upside target of 47 on the 0.5% chart, and we've got 34 and 35 there as well. If you're trading emissions, keep an eye on this 1 minute chart. That's going to be your guide for what's happening. Watch for new targets being developed there. That will be very significant. Taking a look at gas, we're seeing MBP up 4% this morning, TTF up 3%. So gas market's getting off to a very strong start this morning. German power also breaking higher. I've roll adjusted this chart because we rolled into a new contract, of course. So you need to roll adjust your charts to do that. Just right hand click and go and adjust the rollover, and we're seeing here that trend looking very significant for German power as well. Big upside target here if we can break to new highs on the 1 minute chart. Taking a look at other power markets, Dutch power up 3% this morning. We're seeing Nordic power up 8%. Starting to look better there. The quarterly contract also off the bottom. So really quite big moves there in the last few weeks. And last of all, looking at UK power, breaking higher, pushing higher. We've got an upside target on UK power of 55.80, so that's looking pretty strong. And long term, we've got some very big upside targets. So UK power looking set for a good move over the coming weeks and months. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.